Okay. Welcome. Thank you for joining me this morning. This is our fourth and final session together. Thank you for joining me. Before we get going, another little note about just feeling into your body, making sure that you're not forcing yourself into something that doesn't feel right for you this morning. Tune in, listen to the breath. And we're going to be focusing today on the breath and balance. So we're going to do a little bit of sequence that includes some sun salutations, so a little bit more of the traditional kind of poses. And then we're going to challenge ourselves on single legs, so we shall see how we go. But don't worry, if wobbles are always welcome. So take it nice and easy. Let's start by bringing ourselves onto the mat in a nice comfortable seated position. We'll take 3 breaths together just to center ourselves. So taking a soft gaze or closing the eyes, relax the shoulders down, and we'll start by inhaling through the nose and taking a big sigh out through the mouth. In through the nose. And big sigh out through the mouth. One more time, in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Give the shoulders a little roll. We'll start by just walking the hands forward gently. Just easing in, checking in with those hips. Sending the chest forward, only going as low as feels comfortable. Just take a moment to shimmy here. And then send the hands over to the left. Taking a breath here. Option to open up the chest towards the ceiling to encourage a slightly deeper stretch in the right side of the body. And then dropping that hand down, walking the hands over to the right this time, either hanging out here or again having the option to raise that arm up, opening the chest up to the ceiling, keeping the sit bones grounded, but breathing into the left side of the body. And releasing back, tiptoeing those hands back to the center, walking the hands back and coming to sit. Let's take a little tricep stretch. So we're going to take the right hand up towards the sky and send the hand behind the back of the body. Either take the left hand and grab hold of that right hand, or you have the option to just gently ease that elbow back until you start to feel that tricep engage. And we'll breathe into that stretch for 2. Getting nice length in the body here. Really opening the chest up. And then swapping sides, sending the hands up together, sending the left arm down the back. Again, taking the option of the right hand behind the back, grabbing hold of the hand. Or if your triceps feeling a little bit tight this morning, you might want to just take hold of that elbow, easing that stretch into the left side. Two more breaths here. And releasing those arms. Still working into the arms and now working into the back a little bit more. Take the arms out in front, cross the right hand over the left, bring the palms towards the body and cross them over so the palms meet, taking eagle arm pose. And from here, start stretching the arms up towards the ceiling. You might get a slight movement or not much at all, and that's okay. We're just breathing into the back body here. Sitting nice and tall, focusing on keeping those sit bones nice and grounded. Breathing into the stretch. And release the hands, unravel them. Take the hands out in front and do the opposite side. So this time we're taking the left hand on top of the right, crossing the arms over, sending the palms towards the body, and then taking that twist, finding the other hand, and then just stretching the arms up as much as we can. I always find one side feels pretty strange to the other, but breathe into it. Just opening up those shoulders at the back. Nice, and release those hands. One more stretch whilst we're sat in seated. Take the hands behind the back, clasp the fingers together, stretch up nice and tall, and then bring those clasped hands to the right side of the body, tucking them in to the body nice and close. And then this elbow that we have sort of hanging out, pull that towards the other elbow and really breathe into that stretch in the front of the body and the chest. Feel like you're breathing, expanding the rib cage. Enjoying that space that we've created. And then keeping the hands clasped, send them behind the body, coming forward a little bit, and then take the clasped hands to the left side of the body. Again, taking that little wobbly left elbow, drawing it back towards the right arm, and then noticing that stretch on the other side, how it's different to the other. Breathing into the chest cavity. Nice. And then release the hands. Give yourself a little wiggle. And then coming forward into our tabletop pose. So finding our position here, grounding nicely through the hands, making sure the shoulders are about over the wrists, hips just over the knees. And then we're going to focus on shifting the weight into that left leg, lift the right leg up, keep the knee bent, and make some nice big circles with that right knee. Going one way first, opening up that hip, encouraging a little bit of synovial fluid into the joint. And then take those circles the other way. Keep breathing, trying to focus on keeping the body nice and still so the movement really is isolated into that hip. Nice. And then coming back into that tabletop, shifting the weight slightly onto the right leg to allow us to lift the left leg up. Keep the knee bent, make nice big circles with that left leg. And again, just using that moment to check in with the hips. Notice any difference. Whether it feels a little easier to make those rotations with this one rather than the right. Send those circles the other way. Keep finding the breath. Don't lose that breath. And dropping that knee down. Let's take a few cat-cow just to warm that spine up. So inhaling first. Dropping the belly down, raising the chest, raising the head. And then exhale, rounding the back, pressing into the mat, dropping the head down, chin to chest. Inhaling back to cat. Exhaling to cat. That was cow. Getting my cats and cows muddled up this morning. Inhaling to cow. And exhaling to cat. One more time. And after your last cat, Bring back to a neutral spine. And then take the knees to the outside edge of the mat, bring the feet together, and just press back into a wide child's pose. Send the arms forward, nice and long. And just sink the bum back to the heels. Drop the forehead down to the mat, or take the head to the side. If your forehead's on the mat, you can gently rock the head. And just take a few breaths here. And then sitting back up onto the hands, bring the knees back into center. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, and press into our first downward facing dog. Keep that dog nice and mobile to start with. Place the hands nice and flat to the mat. Spread the fingers wide. Sending the weight into each heel. But taking a nice deep bend in the knee at this stage, getting nice length in the spine. And taking a few breaths. Just easing in. Finding our inverted V shape. And then on the next inhale, bend the knees, look forward, jump or step to the top of the mat. Just taking a moment for a halfway lift, raising the chest, lengthening the spine. And then exhale, fold forward, deep bend in the knee, grabbing each elbow with each hand. And just taking a moment in forward fold here. Option to sway a little from side to side, check in with those hamstrings. And then release the elbows, roll the body up nice and slowly, finding ourselves in our mountain pose in our Tadasana. And we're just going to take a moment to ground through the feet. Again, just tuning into that breath. Spread the toes nice and wide and really focus on spreading the weight evenly in both feet. We have a tendency when we're standing to sort of shift on one leg and perhaps the other, but I really want you to focus on rooting through every part of your foot. And send the palms forward and just focus on that breath for a moment. Bring yourself to the present. Try not to let the mind wander as it often wants to. And we're going to run through a few sun salutations this morning just to warm the body up before we move into our balance sequence. So again, connecting to that breath, and I'll give the cues as we go. Don't worry if you come out of time with what we're doing, just go at your own pace and with your own breath. So when we're ready, let's inhale the arms up, slight back bend. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, straighten the legs, hands to shins, lengthening the spine. Exhale, place the hands on the mat, stepping the feet back into plank. Lowering the body down in one piece. And then pressing up into cobra. Elbows tucked in, toes pointed, engaging those legs. And then exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, coming into our downward facing dog. And we'll stay here for 2 breaths. Find some stillness. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And then on the next inhale, bending the knees, looking forward, stepping to the top of the mat, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raising all the way up, back into our mountain. Let's go again. Inhale, slight back bend. Exhale, folding forward, diving over the thighs, dropping the head heavy. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, hands to mat, stepping it back into plank. Lowering the body down in one piece. And then pressing up gently into cobra, elbows tucked, toes pointing. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here, adjusting where needed. Lengthen the spine, head hanging heavy. And then bending the knees, looking towards the top of the mat. Stepping forward, finding that halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raising all the way up, back into our mountain. Slight variation now for our third sun salutation. This time we're inhaling and exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to mat, stepping back into plank. Lowering the body. Inhaling up into cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. We're here for 1 breath this time. Then we'll inhale, raise the right leg high, step that right leg forward. Turn the left foot out and raise up into a warrior 1. We'll just take 1 breath here before lowering the hands down, stepping back into plank, lowering the body down in one piece, inhaling up into cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. 1 breath before lifting that left leg nice and high, sending that left leg forward, kicking the right foot out, raising up into our warrior 1 on the other side. 1 breath here. Lowering the hands down, stepping it back into plank. Lowering the body down in one piece. Inhale up into cobra. And exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here now. Slow that breath down, find some control. And then on the next inhale, we're bending the knees, looking forward, stepping or jumping to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raising all the way up into our mountain. And so we've brought a little bit of heat into the body, running through those sun salutations. And we're going to take ourselves into a little sequence that will culminate into a little bit of time and some balances. So inhale, step the left foot back. Raise the arms up into a high lunge. Interlace the fingers, press the palms up towards the ceiling. And we're staying here for a few breaths. Really focus on sending the weight evenly through the feet. And I'm going to release the hands down, coming into a runner's lunge. Sink over that right leg. Place the left hand down and we'll take a twist variation here. Send the right hand up to the ceiling. Two breaths here. Back stroke that arm round and down. Hand places either side of that right foot. And then we drop the back left knee, untuck the toes, raise the arms up, coming into a low lunge. Take the arms behind the back, taking a reverse prayer. So pulling the palms together, drawing the elbows back, opening the chest. Finding that breath, sinking low into that right leg. And then we'll release the hands. Palms come down either side of that right leg. We'll tuck the back toes, coming back into that runner's lunge just for a second. Rocking slightly on that left leg. We're starting to shift the weight into the right foot. So starting to come up onto that right foot. Focus on keeping this left leg off the ground. It doesn't need to be high. We're just sending all the weight through this right leg. Start hinging the body up with control. You can take your time here. And then we're going to send that left leg forward. Again, doesn't have to be high. We're just focusing on the balance. Send the palms facing forward. 2 breaths here. Start bending that left knee, still keeping it raised off the ground. Sending it behind the body, starting to hinge the body forward. We're going to take the left hand to the inside of that left foot, just grabbing hold of it. We're coming into our King Dancer pose. So we're not focusing too much here on how high we can raise that foot, but we're going to press the foot into the hand and encourage that lever in the body. And send the right arm forward just to help with that balance. Fix the gaze and hold here for 2 more breaths. Calm the body down. And then release that hand. Find your way back into standing and give those legs a little shake. Just notice the difference in the sensation in your right leg to the left. And then just take a moment of stillness in our mountain pose. And then we'll repeat that sequence on the other side. So from here, we'll step the right leg back. Raising the arms up, coming into that high lunge on the left side now. Sinking into that left leg. And making sure we've got some weight into that right foot. Sending it through that heel. Clasp the hands together and press up away towards the ceiling. 1 more breath here. Release the hands down, finding that runner's lunge. Keeping that knee off the ground. Placing the right hand down, sending the left arm up, finding the twist in the left side this time. 2 more breaths here. And then backstroke that left arm down, bringing the hand to the mat. Send the right knee down, untuck the toes, lift the arms up, coming into that low lunge. Sweep the arms behind the body. Taking a reverse prayer, pulling the elbows back, sending the chest forward. Sinking a little lower into that left leg. And releasing the hands, bringing the hands down to the mat. Tucking the back toes, raising up into that runner's lunge. Starting to just rock the weight to allow us to hop forward and start sending the weight through that left leg. In your own time, raising the body up nice and gently. Trying to keep that right foot off the ground. And then sending that right foot forward, palms facing forward also, and taking a moment here to find that stillness. Grounding through the left foot. Using the breath to still our minds. And then taking a bend in that right leg. Start shifting it behind us. Taking this right arm now, grabbing the inside of the right foot. Taking a moment and start shifting, hinging forward, pressing that foot into the hand. And then sending the left arm ahead of us. Finding that king dancer on the left side. One more breath. And then releasing the hand slowly and with control, coming back into our standing pose. Into our Tadasana, having a little shake through the legs. And just take a moment there. Step the right leg out to the side and find a wide leg stance. Take the hands to the hips and then send the chest forward, taking a slight bend in the knee, if that is more comfortable for you, coming into a wide leg forward fold. Sink the chest forward. Go only as low as feels comfortable. If your hands are up on fingertips or maybe your forearms are down, just take a moment to breathe here. And then we're going to turn the right foot out to allow us to sink into a side lunge. Bring the hands forward just to give yourself a bit of stability. You can have the hands down onto the floor if that feels more comfortable. And then dorsiflex the foot. Bring the big toe towards the body. And just notice whether there's a little stretch in the hamstring there. And bring the body around to the side. And just taking a moment here. We're starting to slow things down now. And then walk the hands forward. Allow yourself to shift the weight into that right foot. Send the left leg out, finding the side lunge on the right hand side. Again, pull the big toes towards the body. Send the body over that left leg. Noticing where we might feel a little stretch. And then from here, gently just sitting back onto our bum, send the right leg round to find ourselves in a seated position. And then let's take a gentle forward fold. Nice deep bend in the knees. Send the chest forward, wrap the hands around the body, and just drop the forehead down to the knees. Just taking a few breaths. And then releasing here, making our way onto our backs now, shifting forward slightly, sending the hands ahead of us, rolling that spine down. And we'll take some gentle reclined twists. So take the right foot and place it flat on the mat. Send the right arm out to the side. Left hand grabs hold of the outside of that right knee. I'm just going to ease that leg over to the left side. And then send the head over, looking towards the right palm. And take a few breaths here. Breathing into that spinal twist. And gently coming back to center. Stretch the right leg long. Bringing the left foot to the mat. Tucking it close to the body. Sending the left arm out to the side. Right arm catches hold of the outside edge of that left knee. And gently sending the knee over to the right as the head twists to the left. Finding that reclined twist on the other side. Really breathing into the belly here. Slowing everything down now. And gently bring that leg back. Take the left foot to the mat, send the right foot to the mat as well. Bring the soles of the feet together. Finding one final pose into our goddess pose. Grab each elbow with each hand. Allow those legs to drop out to the side. Finding a little bit of stillness. Deep belly breaths. And then releasing the hands, drawing the knees together. Stretch the legs nice and long. Coming into our final resting position into our Shavasana. Send the palms up towards the ceiling. And just take 3 sigh breaths here. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. Releasing any final bits of tension. And then gently, in your own time, start making your way up to a seated position as we started practice this morning. Just taking a moment of stillness now, just checking in, seeing how we feel now compared to when we started practice together. Closing the eyes for a moment and enjoying that stillness that we've brought to our bodies. And let's finish today's practice by bringing hands to heart center. Give yourselves a little bow. Thank your body for working hard for you this morning. Thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day.